Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to all of you. I'm very sure that you are at home, safe and sound. Okay, today for English subject, Form 3, we are going to discuss the sentence structures because I believe that before you can go on writing, you must know how to write sentences. Okay, alright, now we go to the first lesson of the definition of sentence structures. Okay, alright. Okay, sentence just like building blocks. Okay, we have 3 blocks. Okay, that you must know. For Form 3 levels, they are simple, compound, and complex. But before we go on, talking about simple, compound and complex, you must know what is the definition of a sentence. A sentence is a group of words and you must make sure in that sentence you have subject and a verb. Not only that, okay, in your sentence, you must understand that when you write a sentence, it must begin with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. And of course, when you make a sentence, it must be logical. Okay, for example, if you say that my mother is a dragon, well, structurally, it is correct. My mother is the subject, is a dragon is the predicate. But logically, you cannot have your mother as a dragon because you are human being. So when you want to make a sentence, make sure it is logical. Yeah, it makes sense. Not only it is logical, it must be meaningful. So when I say my mother is a dragon, it is not logical. When it is not logical, it is not meaningful. So we cannot accept it as a sentence. And you cannot say, for example, my mother is a. Oh, that is incomplete. It hangs. What do you understand by that? What does it mean? So in a sentence, you have to understand that in every sentence, regardless whether it is simple, compound or complex, it must have subject and verb. Okay, and it is a group of words. You cannot say, for example, my what? So that is not the sentence. It must consist of words, yeah, a group of words, and it must have subject and verb. It must be logical, meaningful, and complete. Okay, now let us go to the next understanding of sentence. Okay, all right. Now, when we want to make a group of words, maybe you will ask me, what are they? Now, it is not that difficult to do because I think you are familiar with 8 parts of speech. Now, everyone must know 8 parts of speech. Maybe some of you might not understand the terms 8 parts of speech, but everyone must know when I say ball, tiger, jump, beautiful. Yeah, they are 8 parts of speech. So in English, we have 8 parts of speech. And this one is very important. It's a formula, right? When we want to write, this is the formula that you must remember. Okay, you can repeat after me. Noun. Okay, noun, pronoun. This one, when we want to make a sentence, we only think of nouns and pronouns. They belong to the subject part. And then when we want to talk about the subject, whether it's noun or pronoun, we must begin with a verb because a verb starts the predicate or the story. Okay, and then after that, we have adjectives and adverbs. Both they are modifying tools to make our sentences more interesting and exciting and also informative. For example, if I say, the child is crying. So if I add adjective, the lonely child is crying. So adjective is a modifying tool to modify your sentence to make it more interesting. Adverb too is a modifying tool. For example, if I say, the child is crying, the lonely child is crying. Okay, I add another adverb. The lonely child is crying loudly. Oh, okay, that is adverb. So, you can understand what it means. Okay, and then in a sentence, we must have connectors. So, we must know what is preposition. Preposition is like connecting from one word to another word in the same sentence. Whereas conjunctions, we can combine one idea from another idea. Like for example, main clause to another main clause to another subordinate clause, one paragraph to another paragraph. So they are what we call connectors, yeah, joining words and ideas. Last but not least, when we write, we must know also the feeling and the mood, emotions that we are feeling at the moment of writing. So this is called interjection, a strong sudden feeling. So when we write, we cannot speak. So the audience does not understand what we are trying to say. So by using interjections, we use exclamation mark, we can explain our feelings or emotion. Okay, after we have understood this, right, let us go to the next one. Alright, as I have already told you, it is very interesting to note that sentence structures or sentence patterns, whatever they are actually like blocks. Okay, so when we say building sentence structures, we are building blocks. Before that, let us understand the sentence pyramid. Now, maybe in science subject, you have understood, you have learned, you are familiar with food pyramid. But in English, also, we have pyramid and we call it sentence pyramid. Now, at the bottom there, word start with 1. That is the smallest unit. That means you think of something. For example, I say I want to think of a cat, right? So you have word cat. Now you go up to the next level. That is called phrase. What about the cat? Describe the cat. Well, you can add article or adjective, an adjective or an adjective. A beautiful Persian cat. Alright. Still, a phrase cannot be understood. It's a block, right? So, you go to the higher level, which is clause. Clause, you must have subject and verb. So now, at this level, you can add, it's a beautiful Persian cat. What about the cat? You add verb. So when you add verb, that is the predicate part or the story is missing. Alright, so we move to the most complex unit, which is sentence. In a sentence, remember what we have learned? In a sentence, you must have a group of words. You must begin with a capital letter and you must end your idea with a full stop. And in the sentence, you must have subject and you must have verb, right? So, let us look at the sentence. A beautiful Persian cat is missing. So, where is the subject? Cat. Where is the verb? Is missing. Now, is it logical? Yes, right? It makes sense. Does it meaningful to you? Yes. You know that a cat. What cat? Beautiful Persian. What about the cat? Is missing. So, it is complete. You understand the sentence well. So, I hope students, you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, please, I would like to ask every student who watched this video to be confident and go on watching this video how to make sentences. You cannot say that you cannot do sentences because they are difficult. So this one is what we call step-by-step instruction how to make a sentences. So after this, when you go out, when you watch television, you try to understand the sentence, the words, the dialogue spoken, and then try to make your own sentence. Okay, you think of one thing, normally noun, and then you develop the noun from word, phrase, clause, and sentence. And that's it. You're going to make your own sentence. And after that, from one sentence, you go on to the second one, third one, and just imagine if you are very diligent, you never give up, you can write sentences, many sentences which are correct and very good. Okay, now let us go to the next one. Okay, all right. So now word. What is word? Word is, words are taken from the 8 parts of speech. That's why I say everyone must understand what 8 parts of speech. I give you example. For example, if I say, I am a teacher. I is what? I is pronoun. Am is what? Am is a verb. A is what? Article. And what is teacher? Teacher is a noun. So there we have subject and predicate. But from 8 parts of speech, we have noun and then we have verb. So if I say that I am an English teacher, so we have adjective there. We have I, pronoun, am, verb, and is article, English is adjective, and teacher is noun. So sometimes we can use all the 8 parts of speech in one sentence, but not every time. Alright, sometimes we use subject, verb, pronoun, noun or pronouns, verb, adjectives. But in your sentence, you must use noun or pronoun and verb. Because if there is no verb, it is not a sentence. If there is no noun or pronoun, it is not a sentence. Alright, after we and word only one. You start with one. Just like just now I showed you cat. You think of a cat and then you develop the ideas. Now maybe you ask me, teacher, why is it so slow? No, it is not slow. This is the process that happened in our brain when we want to learn sentences. Right? Learn language. It is very fast. That's why you can speak so much. Alright? In second, you can, like what I'm doing now, I'm speaking, right? But this one, I want to show you step by step how to make sentences. Okay, after that, we have phrase. Phrase must be more than one word. So if you say one word, that is a word. But if you say just now cat and you say the cat, or the plane, that is a phrase. Alright. Phrase is very interesting to note that it cannot be understood. Why? Because it is not complete. Why it is not complete? I will tell you further in my video. Right? Okay, next we are going to go to clause. Now, clause is a higher level than phrase. Why is it so? Because clause has a subject and a verb, and you can understand it. Alright, like word and phrase, it is incomplete. You are not going to understand them. Okay, now the most complicated level is sentence. Why is it complicated? Because you have different types of sentences, right? Simple, compound, complex, multiple complex sentence, and what more? You have everything there. So sentence is a what? Is a group of words that like what I'm trying to say is that can be understood. All right. Okay. Now let us look at phrase. Example. Next slide. We are going to go to. Okay. I think I have shown you this. Now we are going to look at phrase. Right. Word. I have already explained about the 8 parts of speech. Alright, if you want to know further, you can buy books on grammar, or you can Google, then you can understand what is noun, pronoun, and so on, right? But from there, from the words, from the 8 parts of speech, we take them to, we combine them in a sentence. Okay, phrase. Okay, what is the actual subject here? A big black bird. Yeah, the actual subject here is bird. But then I add article, a, and then I put adjectives, big, black. So the information is more compared to bird. If I say bird, it's a bird. But you don't know how big is the bird. Okay, the size of the bird, the color of the bird. So now I know a big black bird. One bird which is big and it is black in color. Okay, but you don't know what happened to the bird. Okay, you know about the bird. I'm describing the bird. Now, next one, employee. Okay, that is the actual subject. What about the employee? Describe the employee. A loyal employee. Now, I guess everyone loves cheeseburger, right? What sort of cheeseburger that you want to eat? Chicken or beef? But here, I choose chicken cheeseburger. Alright, so as you see, even though you have 4 words there, alright, it can be sometimes 5, 6 words, but it is not complete. So if you write something like this, okay, no verb there, it is not a sentence. So please remember to make a sentence, not a phrase. Alright, okay, now let us go to the next one. Okay, next one, we are going to talk about main clause. Because before sentence, it is a clause. Now, clause is a transition. Okay, because clause, we can understand clause. We have 2 types of clauses. One is main clause and the other one is subordinate clause. Main clause is just like a simple sentence, but it has no capital letter. It has no full stop. Why? Because the writer has something else to say. For example, if I say, I love my mother. If I put a full stop, it's going to be a simple sentence. It is complete. You have the subject, I. You have the predicate, love my mother. But I didn't put a full stop because I want to say more. I love my mother because she has been looking after me. So as you can see, because she has looking after me is another idea, added information. I'm going to explain to you later. As you can see, we have main clause there. So I have already divided the table into 2 parts, subject and predicate. What is predicate? Predicate is a story. Alright. For example, just now, a big black bird. What happened to the bird? Is flying in the sky. We know that is predicate when we look at the verb. Where is the verb? Is flying. Okay. And then we have the subject, a loyal employer. And what is the story about the employee? Sorry. What about the story of the employee? What? Got a reward, for example. Receive a reward. Okay, so that is the story. And about what about our chicken cheeseburger? Is very tasty. Alright? Okay. Alright. Now let us look at the next one. I think you have understood. Okay? Are you clear about this? Inshallah, right. Now, before we go to sentences, we have to understand word, phrase and clause. Clause, I will explain further to you. Okay, we go to the next one. Okay, now we are talking about simple sentence. You can take back the main clause, just put it in a capital letter, the first letter. Just now, it is not in capital letter, right? So, this one in capital letter. A big black bird is flying in the sky, and then put a full stop. Now, I would like to advise you, when you write sentences, okay, when you write your essay, make sure you use capital letter to begin a sentence, and then when you want to end your idea, that means you have nothing to say about it, put a full stop. Because if you didn't put a full stop, meaning that your ideas are going to be continuously, and people cannot understand when you add one idea to another idea to another idea. So this punctuation, capitalization and full stop, they are very important in writing. I think the rest of the sentences you can read on your own. Now let us look at the next slide. Next one. Alright, types of simple sentences. We have just now we are building simple, compound and complex. Okay, now we have we are going to look at types of sentences, right? Types, or we can say sentence structures. Now for simple sentence, it's very easy. You have one subject, one predicate, and there is no conjunction. Okay, I like to eat cheeseburger. Just one simple idea. One subject, one verb. Now, what about compound? Compound, okay, don't get what we call that worried about compound, because compound is like joining two main clauses together. Alright, you know what is main clause? Main clause is just like a simple sentence without full stop. Alright, and we didn't put a capital letter or full stop. We have main clause, main idea. Both can be understood because they can stand on their own. So we join them together with conjunction. And the conjunctions that we use are coordinating conjunctions. And the conjunctions are, okay, maybe you can remember fair, boss, for, and, but, also, either, or, neither, no. Okay, so these are the conjunctions that we use to connect or to join main clauses together. And the beauty of compound sentences, you can separate them or you can join them just like that, because the conjunctions is in the middle. For example, my mother and I love drinking coffee very much. So if you want to separate them into two simple sentences, you may do so. For example, I love drinking coffee very much. My mother loves drinking coffee very much. And the next one, alright, I'm going to teach you three structures of sentences. Okay, simple, compound. Now we go to the next one, which is complex sentence. Okay, complex sentence, it is complex because it cannot be separated. Alright, the compound sentences can be separated into two simple sentences. But complex sentences cannot be separated because they are not joining two ideas together. They are not. They do not join ideas together, but they are adding. They added one idea into the main idea. So, complex sentence, you have main clause, right? For example, I love, chicken cheeseburger is tasty. That is the main idea, right? Just now we have made it into main clause and also simple sentence. And then maybe you want to ask yourself, why? Wow, chicken cheeseburger is tasty because it is made of secret recipe. So because of it made from secret recipe is added information you put into the main idea. So, subordinate clause or dependent clause cannot stand by its own without the main idea. So, now let us do some summary on this. If you want to remember, simple sentence have one subject, one verb. Compound sentence can have one subject, two verb, or two subjects, one verb, or two subjects, two verbs. Okay, now what about complex? Complex sentence, you must have two subjects and two verbs. Okay, that is the formula. Can you copy them down? Okay, never mind. This one is to help you to understand what they are all about. So, for those who like science and mathematics, this one should be a helpful note to help you understand how to construct the sentence structures. Now, let us go to the next one. Okay, simple sentences. Now, I give you samples of simple sentences. I hope you can look at them. And how are we going to build the simple sentence? By dividing them into subjects and predicates. Okay, when you have mastered this skill, you don't have to divide anymore. This one is for beginners, right? I hope that all of you will try. If you are a good writer, then at least you can check in your essay next time that you have the subject and the predicate. You have the subject and the verb. But if you don't know how to write English sentences, this is a good way for you to practice, right? These are samples or examples that I can show you, but actually there are hundreds or thousands examples that you can get or you can come up of your own. Alright, Okay, for example, you can read newspapers, novels, and then you listen to songs. The lyric also you can identify. Okay, this is a simple sentence. Okay, alright. Okay, now let us look at the next one. After simple sentence, we look at now what will be the next one. Okay, alright, next one. Oh, compound sentences. Compound sentences, I've already shown you there. You can read on your own. Now, what is compound sentences? Can you remember? It's a combination of two main clauses. Alright. So, if I want to make one subject, two predicate, I would like to say subject will be my sister. What about your sister? My sister likes to play hockey and like to play hockey and badminton. So you have one subject there. What is the subject? Sister. And you have two predicates there. What are the predicates? Playing hockey and badminton. Alright. Now what about if I say I want to have two subjects? My friend and I love to play chess. So, what are the subjects? My friend. And the other one? I. And what is the predicate? Wow, both of you share the same predicate. Okay? So, I like to play chess. My friend likes to play chess. Now, what about if two subjects? My friend likes to play chess. But I, another subject, like to play Monopoly. So you have two subjects and two predicates or stories, different stories, right? Okay, now go to the next one. Okay, now complex sentences. Okay, for Form 3 level, you must master simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. But you still have time to learn and be a master in complex sentences when you go to Form 4 and Form 5. So now I would like to tell you complex sentences can be divided into two parts. Okay, main clause or MC. Okay, it's better for us to say MC, and that subordinate clause is SC. So when we say MC, SC, you know what is the meaning, right? Now for main clause, it is the meaning of main clause is the independent clause. You know what is independent? Independent like our country. We are independent country, right? Dependent meaning like you are still dependent on your parents because you have to ask money from parent. Okay, if your parent didn't give you money, then how are you going to get your money? That is dependent. Your parents, they are independent. You are dependent. Okay, main clause can stand by its own. Complete, it's not complete but can be understood because you have subject and verb there. For example, given there, what my teacher, right? My teacher likes to teach. Okay. Oh, my teacher likes to be a teacher because is the conjunction, and we use subordinating conjunction because it is his hobby. So it to give a reason. Alright, for complex sentences, you have to study more in depth. But today, I'm not going to deal with complex sentences in details. Okay, just to let you know that complex sentences, they are built by having main clause or combining, right, main clause and subordinate clause together. Subordinate clause, you can identify subordinate clause when you look at the conjunction. So you must know what conjunctions are all about. Conjunctions can be found in 8 parts of speech. So if you do not know what conjunctions are all about, that's why I ask you to go and do your revision. Buy any grammar books and study them. So when you have mastered the 8 parts of speech, to make simple sentence, compound sentence and complex sentence are easy, just like A, B, C. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Okay, I give you example of complex sentences. Alright, so I guess I will let you to read on your own. Alright, so that is main clause and then that is subordinate clause. As you can see, main clause is just like a simple sentence without a full stop. And subordinate clause will have to start with a conjunction. You can use conjunctions like because, whether, since, and whatever, as long as it is related to each other. Remember, we have learned that sentence must be logical and meaningful. So, as long as it gives meaning and you understand what it's trying to say, that is a good sentence. Alright, you can study that on your own. Now, we go to the next one. Now, paragraph. We have talked about sentences, simple, compound, complex, and we know how to do that. So, now we can put them together, all the sentences into one paragraph. So, what is inside a paragraph? Okay, first we must have topic sentence. What is topic sentence? Topic sentence is the main idea, the thing that you want to talk about in a paragraph. Normally, in a paragraph, you have one topic sentence, right? The main idea. Just now, we have learned sentences. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words, and paragraph is a group of sentences. And then if you ask me, what is an essay? An essay is a group of paragraphs. So that's why I have taught you how to make sentences, because I want you to put all your sentences in a paragraph. So, and then we have supporting idea. What is supporting idea? Supporting idea is what? To support your main idea. And then after that, you must have elaboration. After elaboration, if you have so many ideas, you can go on to have further elaboration. And then if you have examples to be given, after further elaboration, you can put your examples. And in every paragraph, you must have a concluding sentence, because paragraph is like a mini essay. What do we have in an essay? We have introduction, that is topic sentence in a paragraph. And then in essay, we have contents, body or middle. So we also have the body in a paragraph, starting from supporting idea, elaboration, further elaboration, and examples. And of course, in an essay, you have conclusion. In a paragraph, you have concluding sentence. Now, let me read one sample essay. Okay, my birthday cake is a moist chocolate cake. So, here is the main idea. Topic sentence is, I want to talk about my birthday cake. And my birthday cake is a chocolate cake. And I have already also added an adjective, that moist chocolate cake. Alright, so you can imagine my birthday cake. It's a chocolate cake and it is moist. Now, how to support my idea? Supporting my idea, you can come up with many ideas actually. It is not the main idea, but it is the ideas which support your main idea. You can ask questions, for example, what, where, when, how, and so on. The WH question. So here, I'm describing the cake by telling that my birthday cake is a moist chocolate cake. I'm telling you my mother bakes it for me on my 15th birthday. So I'm still relating to my birthday, and I'm still relating it to the moist chocolate cake by telling you that my mother bakes it for me. I did not buy it, but my mother baked it for me. Now, what about the elaboration? You look at the supporting point, right? So, I'm talking about my mother bakes the cake. So, elaboration, I can tell you how or what are the ingredients that my mother used to bake the cake. So, my mother uses cooking chocolate and fresh milk to make it tastier. And after that, if I have no more ideas, I have to conclude the paragraph. This one is called concluding sentence. So, my mother's chocolate cake is the signature cake in our family because every special occasion, my mother will bake it for us. Right. So, you have a paragraph. So, if you learn how to make sentences, you have understood how to make sentences, the blocks, simple, compound, and complex, put them together in a paragraph, And if you can write your paragraph well, I don't see why you can't write a good essay. Alright? It is not that difficult. Right? Okay, let us look again. Like my birthday cake is a moist chocolate cake. What is this structure? Yes, this is simple sentence. How do you know? My birthday cake, subject, is a moist chocolate cake, predicate. Alright, simple. And then my mother bakes it for me on my 15th birthday. What sentence is this? Simple. My mother, the subject, bakes it for me on my 15th birthday. Birthday is the predicate. So you have two simple sentences already. Okay. Now, my advice is that for your topic sentence, try to make it simple sentence so that you know what is your main idea. And the next one, for elaboration, my mother uses cooking chocolate and fresh milk to make it tastier. So this is compound. How do you know it is compound? Because you have and there, coordinating conjunction. My mother uses cooking chocolate, one more, and fresh milk. Why? To make it tastier. So when you want to build a sentence, right, like building block, you have to ask question and you put the words together to make a block. That's why I say building a sentence is just like a block, like Lego for example. And the concluding sentence, we have two simple sentences and we have one compound sentence there. Concluding sentence, my mother's chocolate cake is the signature cake in our family. That is the main clause or main idea. And I put because every occasion, okay, special occasion, my mother will bake it for us. That is the subordinate ideas. Added information to support the main idea. So in this paragraph, you have two simple sentences, you have one compound sentence, and you have one complex sentence. That's good because in a paragraph, we want to have varieties of sentence structures. Bravo, you have done. So when you think about it, it is not that difficult to write paragraph. Okay? Alright, I want you to promise me that you are going to look at this video and try to practice and practice. One day, you are going to become great writer. Okay, next one, before we end, I would like to say that if you ask me, teacher, is writing difficult? Yes, if you don't want to try. Teacher, can I be a good writer? Yes, if you want to try. So before I end my video session, I would like to tell you or share with you something which is very important. Alright, Mark Twain, okay, a famous figure. He is a writer, right? A famous writer. He has written something for us to ponder on. Alright. So never afraid. Okay. Never put off what you can do. To the meaning that you never postpone anything. If you want to try to write it now. Okay. Alright. So for student, okay, if you want to write, you write it now. Never postpone. That means do not procrastinate. It is not good, right? Do it now. After this, after Zohor prayer, you can do it. Or after your lunch, you can start doing what I have already taught you. And, okay, and if you want to start, the first step is always the hardest. Okay, this is from Unknown. I take this quotation from Unknown. I believe that whatever we do, the first step is the hardest. Just like a baby when he wants to learn how to walk. And look at your baby brother or baby sister when they want to talk. The first time they want to talk, it is so difficult. But now look at you, look at me. We can speak and we can walk, we can do anything. So if you feel that writing is difficult because it is the first step that you refuse to take. If you take the first step, it will be easier. Thank you. See you again. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. All right.